Well, hello, 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 and welcome, my Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Path of True Love reading for February 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and Virgo Sun. So very interested to see how this read goes, as I have not given myself a Celtic cross in a really long time. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe, making my way ever closer to that 1,000 subscriber mark so I can do super live chat, which I'll be doing on the regular, and probably be doing quite a number of Celtic cross reads, because I really, doing it this time again, I really fell in love with the spread again. Speaking of which, I did a little video, what was it, yesterday, the day before, part of my clarifying series, Clarifying with Mark A. Lyons, on how I read the Celtic Cross. Everybody does it a little bit differently depending on the training that they have or the books that they've read. So go check that out. It'll explain the spread a little bit more. But also to say, this is a general read, so so as much as I would love to give 100% accuracy to everyone who ever watches anything I do, it can't be done, right? There are too many variations in the quantum field that way, right? So my job is just to get basic themes for zodiacal categories like Virgos, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign. That's a lot of people. So please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, right? We're Virgos, we can be a little picky, but we can sift and sort, right? We are ruled by the intestines, so we can take out, extract what works for us, let go what doesn't, and by all means, please do check your other signs. Because a Path of True Love read is sort of important. That's why I'm glad my spirit team, my pantheons, really suggested strongly that I do this as a Celtic cross spread, because I love it so much, and it's a great way of looking at a path. It's almost like a GPS map in a way, giving you a horizontal and vertical axis to look at, as well as a macrocosmic trend line to thrill your Virgo minds with, right? So check your other signs. Keep in mind, this Path of True Love reading is about you. That's actually in the description box. It's about looking at your hero's journey, your healing path, your spiritual path, your warrior's path, however you want to see that, your life path, through the lens of your relationships. Really how we get our lessons delivered, sometimes hot and steaming, twin flamey or otherwise, right? Soulmate or otherwise. Just to clarify, that the Path of True Love has all different types of relationships in it, not just the romantic sexual. There are enough cards in these decks to indicate if that is the case, but that doesn't mean, even if the card's not there, that it's not romantic. Only you will know that, right? I can't know, because for one person the reading could be about their mother, and another for their best friend, or because all relationships are essential on the Path of True Love, just not you know, the kissy, smoochy, touch me in the morning, then just walk away relationships. Oh my God, where did that come from? I haven't heard that song in decades. Anyway, last thing, please remember to breathe. You're going to anyway, but if you can, partner with your breath. It's like another participant in these readings is the breath, which connects us all, essentially. I know it sounds a little gross with bad breath, but you know, there is only one breath ultimately. That it helps us stay in the present moment. For me as a reader, as even a teacher, as a spirit in human form, to find that still point at the top of the inhale, the gap between the inhale and the exhale and the inhale, I call that the still point. I just like, it's like ringing this silent bell inside of me that puts me right in touch with the divine. That's where I'm getting the energy, the guidance, the grace, the prana, the chi for the reading. So if you're doing the same thing, right, like finding those little still points for yourself throughout, not only are you going to be aware of your breath in the present moment, but you're also going to be feeling the reading intuitively, because we're both getting it from the same source. Does that make sense? I'm just translating it into pictures and words via what I do, right? Cool. So let's take a nice deep breath. We're going to start with 10 cards, Daughters of the Moon Tarot. All the decks that I read are always at the very bottom of the description box if you want to check them out in more detail. So we'll do 10 cards of these, Celtic Cross. Then on top of those, 10 Healing with the Angels Oracles, Oracle cards to clarify, obviously one for each position. one, whisper of love, the voices of the higher selves, yours, and in this case, my own as well. And then we will end with the voices of the Ascended Masters through the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck. Good for the little bookie book, because the little bookie book is very, very helpful for a little tiny book. It's very, very good, gotta say. I like Matt Kahn a lot. I've never met him. Seems like a nice guy. Okay. Ready? Here we go, Virgos. I wasn't dreading this one. I'm just single right now and kind of digging it. So Path of True Love has really seriously been more about me and the divine and my friends and my, close family than anything else. But that's Path of True Love, absolutely. And sometimes way more helpful because it's less confusing, depending upon your friends and family, right? So let's take a nice deep breath, get grounded and centered in our earth sign, body, sun, moon, rising, or Venus signs. Here we go. Find that still point. There you are. My gods and goddesses, the divine masculine and the divine feminine of the universe in total. Please, top 10 cards. Celtic cross for this Virgo collective. Sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. On the path of true love for February 2020, please, oh, my deities, my goddesses, my gods, for this Virgo collective. Where are they on the path of true love? What's going on for them on the path of true love? So that they can make healthy, wealthy, empowering, wise, loving choices and decisions on the path. Just some clarity for them, please. You tell me when. For this Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, path of true love. There we go. February 2020 or timeless. Got it. Maiden, Mother, Crone, and a pretty clean cut. Very happy with that. Okay. It's very clairvoyant, clairaudient, because they show me what to do, but then they say, okay, now cut it. I'm like, okay. And I'm putting them down over here so I don't subconsciously shuffle them. I found myself doing that with reads with clients. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Really, do it for a paid client. You never do it again. Live and learn. You ready? Here we go. Let's do the Celtic cross for you all, and myself included, apparently, maybe, for February 2020 on the path of true love. The first card down is the cover. What is the card that covers us? Wow, the star right out the gate. Not just a major arcana card. The most spiritual card in the deck as far as I am concerned. Now this is very Aquarian. I mean, she's literally pouring water from a breast urn. That's so very much the sign of Aquarius. And yes, I have heard that people astrologically link different planets to different tarot cards, not just on YouTube, but certainly, I mean, you go back to Arthur Edward Waite, and then you read the Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic studies of the tarot and astrology. It's a lot. It's a lot. But this one in particular I love because the star from that heightened place, even with that Aquarian vibe to it, is to see the larger picture, right? Our guidance and our grace. Before we ever had GPS, before we had compasses, before we had maps, we had the stars, right? So if you found Polaris, the North Star, you could find your way, south, west, or east once you found your way right to where north was. So there's something in this card, first card down, about who we are. In one way, it's saying, like, I'm a star, which kinda, yeah. I mean, but that also, you are in alignment with guidance and grace, and you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Oh my goodness gracious, an Abraham Hicks term, to something higher, a higher vibrational thing, a higher spiritual frequency. Guidance and grace of that nature often comes with the grace of hope. Hope, not that something in particular will happen. Well, if you hope something doesn't happen, that's really called worry, but that's a whole other conversation. But hoping that somehow all of this is for the greater good, or it's all part of the divine plan, which supposedly everything is, right? But as Virgos, we can overthink the fuck out of everything, looking at it from it, well, how could it, blah, 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 blah. And so for us to actually be typified by a card like that, first card down, the card of the star, us, right, the significator, the person being read. So we're really, really looking at that alignment with something celestial. Now, it'll be nice to, when we do the angel cards on top of these, those are the celestial. So it'll be fun to see what that is. But for right now, we're going to move on. We know that we're in a good place, pretty much for the moment, at least within ourselves. Second card down, the cross. What's the environment that we're in? What's crossing us for good or ill? Well, it seems like it's for good, straight up. I'm not doing reverses in this spread for generals. I tend not to. I save that for personal reads. This is the Six of Cups, straight up. It came compassion. The equal balance, the give and take, the ebb and flow of emotion. So compassion for yourself, compassion for others. A lovely, lovely place. Here we've got like a tag team, all hands on deck Reiki session or something going on at the beach. I'm totally down with this. And this is such a beautiful deck. You can't probably see it on camera, but the waves are actually women and they're each offering cups, right? They're just like these beautiful nereids, sea nymphs, right? I think it's nereids. I always got my nymphs confused. Probably because I'm a gay man, but there you have it. I'm sure there were male nymphs. I just only dealt with mine in human form, I guess. So with that compassion, right, that Six of Cups, that ebb and flow, that finding the balance between self-compassion, self-love, and selfless compassion, right? Selfless love, not just the unconditional kind, but the giving of yourself and finding that balance. So I'm going to say with these two first ones down, considering one is Major Arcana and one's a water card, we're doing okay, right? It's a 6. 6s are always pretty even Steven, pretty equal balance. Third position, the core. See, everybody puts the first two cards down in the same. I'm reading round cards, so you can't put one on top of the other. It's like, I won't be able to see the one under it, so I have to put them next to each other. But the third card, it's always a little squirrely to see where readers put it. I put mine at the bottom, underneath it all. And this is the core, the stuff going on not just in the subconscious mind, not just in the unconscious mind, but in the Godhead, in the soul, in the truth of who you are. Because if this is the cover and this is the cross, then the core would be what's going on. Whoa, I wasn't supposed to see that, but I just did. Holy shit, Two of Cups. Yay! That there is a Two of Cups moment at the core, which means there's movement on a soul level, which does make sense because we are in some kind of alignment with higher vibration, higher purpose, aligning with our star. See, I don't wish upon stars because chances are those fuckers burned out millions of years ago. The light's just getting us now. I'm very Terry Pratchett when it comes to wishing on stars. Read We Free Men, WEEFREEMEN by Terry Pratchett. You'll see what I mean. But who doesn't love a good Two of Cups in any kind of relationship-based spread, particularly one that might have possible romance in it? Now, like I said, I'm single, enjoying it, dating somebody on and off a little bit, but really enjoying that I don't have to deal with abuse, neglect, or codependence, right? It's just like, oh my God, this is great. I forgot what it was like to be really, really single. But this is talking about an attraction. And when it's in that deeper core position, it is a soul thing. It's something you're not aware of up here, but maybe you could feel the rumblings of it down here. Now, I know people want to make the Two of Cups. Oh, it's the romance card. Oh, it's true love. Oh, your soulmates. Maybe it's a 2. It's attraction. It's the whirlpool in this deck, which I love. These 2 cups as far away as possible as they can be, but getting closer and closer and closer as slowly as possible, which is sort of the healthy way of going with what? The flow, the emotional flow. So with that, in an atmosphere of compassion, there's Virgo, the star, not just the star of the show. It's really more Leo. I'm Leo rising, but that thing of really being in alignment, embodying our spirit, our higher selves even, with this signal underneath, it's like, get ready. Something's coming and attraction's coming. Now, remember, just because it's an attraction on the path of true love doesn't mean that, they're all true love relationships if they're helping you become true love. But, the happy, healthy, wealthy, wise soulmate thing, I'm going to do those spreads after this one. And we'll see what the gods, how they want me to do that one. But remember, this is just for us individually, right? Where have we been? What's behind you? What's in the Virgos behind? What's behind us? 3 water cards in a row. This isn't just a water card. This is the 10 of Cups. This is little kids spinning around under a rainbow of 10 cups, except it's Inanna's house of heaven, ecstasy. This is pretty extra for Virgos. I mean, I am a Virgo, and I'm a hedonist archetype, Dionysus priest Virgo, like earth sign, the vine is alive. I don't drink that much, oddly enough. Not anymore. 51, after a while, you do have to look after your health, darling. But this is a really good place that we're coming from. And the great thing about the angel cards that we're going to be using, none of them are like, you fucked up. They're all great. So whenever a really like good feeling card comes up, I can trust that I'm just reading those angel cards, that it will just kind of clarify how wonderful it is in some ways. So this is a wonderful launching off place to come from. The 10 of Pentacles, and because if you look at the even numbers, the 4 and the 2 in this case are the past and the present, what's before us and what's crossing us at the moment. The 3 is the core. It's what's going on deep inside in the present moment, where we are in the present moment, the star, which is wonderful. And then this 5th card will be what's crowning the present moment, what's coming into being. So you can even almost see, like in the present moment, the subconscious, the core is giving us this 2 of Cups this way, and then the crown is going to sort of download something into this present moment. Maybe not this exact present moment, but generally speaking. So let's see what card is in the 5th position. Oh fuck, man, this is so cool. 5 of Flames. I'm usually a card of conflict, granted. The 5s are numbers of change. But this is Pele, the volcano. This is about something that's been boiling under the surface for a very long time, like maybe this, and bursting through the layers of magma and crust, making its way to the surface where it can be seen. This can be a Kundalini explosion. Now, if you're not familiar with Kundalini, really, there are no words for it except 10 billion of them, because people have written about it throughout history pretty much. It is a Sanskrit word. It means coiled serpent. It has to do with the energy in the base of your spine uncoiling and poking out the top of your head at some point. It is sexual, spiritual, creative energy. That could be what this could be about. This could be something that's been coiled up, boiling for a long time, finally finding its expression, but its element of fire, choice, decision, will, passion, desire. But a change. It will change everything. Now, as destructive as this sounds, I'm always reminded, I've never been to Hawaii. I hope to go someday. I would like to just go visit at least once, because on a volcanic island, any of them really, most fertile soil on planet Earth because of all those minerals that are buried for so long. So after, like, don't be afraid of the, well, maybe be afraid of a literal volcano if you're on one when it's erupting. But in this deck, it's sort of like Pele, like, just don't take any rocks home. She won't kill you, right? Don't fuck with Pele. But at the same time, think of all of the fertilization that goes on when our passions explode. Yay! Yay, this is looking really good, but come on. We're only 5 cards out of 10. We're halfway there. This feels really good, though, because if it is this attraction, then this would definitely be, you know, one of those undeniable sexual surges you get when you meet somebody? Like, where you have to, like, actually, oh, excuse me for a minute. Is there a powder room nearby? You know, you go take a cold shower. I am taking cold showers. I'm doing the Wim Hof method, breathing in the cold, yeah. I don't know if I'll be dipping myself in ice water, but we'll see, right? So that thing of activation, right? Definitely passion moving. Now, I'm gonna say, this feels a little sexual romantic. I mean, there are other ways to interpret it, I'm sure, but that 2 of Cups in the inner, it's really about at least 2 energy fields, 2 emotional energy fields being drawn together in an emotional magnetic way. So maybe that can be manifested as conflict, but let's keep going. Too many variations in the quantum field. We'll be here forever, right? So let's keep going, see what shows up, and then we'll clarify. 6th position is the future, what's before you on the path. So we've got card number 4, which is the 10 of Cups, shows us where we were, what's behind us, right? The 2nd position, we've got the 6 of Cups, compassion, right? Where we are right now in terms of the location. So this is what's before us on the path. The Libra card. Now, whether this is an actual Libra or not, we'll get there. But Libra is 7th house. It's partnerships and marriage. Now, not necessarily only holy matrimony, marriage, it's any kind of partnerships, right? Like think legal partnerships, hence the scales of Libra. That's why it's also a legal sign. This is Skadi of the north, right? The north wind goddess. So we're talking about something that really blows in and changes everything, but also has that balance to it. And I think that's probably Cygnus, the swan, right? So that thing of that balanced sort of cross, not the northern cross, I would think the southern cross. Oh, now I'll have that song stuck in my head, right? So that balance always talks about relationships, one thing in relationship to another, right? The scales, even if it's the shadow self, seventh house, marriages, partnerships, shadow self, legal documents, party one, party two, right? Guilty, innocent, that whole thing, which is like relationships in general. So even if this is a person, they carry with it that potential partnership vibe. Very, very Two of Cups. But with a volcano, it's going to be a very passionate meeting. But my sense, of course, because it's so strong Libra here, that it will also probably be an intellectual connection as well, right? That meeting of the minds and understanding. A simpatico. So really, for your past, present, future, you got the Ten of Cups, ecstasy, the Six of Cups, compassion, and the Mother of Blades, Libra, Skadi, the North Wind, which is definitely Libra energy, which is definitely, it says Libra right on the card, but partnerships, marriage, and that balance, perhaps even your relationship with yourself, but with this Two of Cups, not so sure about that. Feels like there's an actual person coming in. Because in the vertical axis, we have at the core the Two of Cups, that attraction. We may not be seeing it, but perhaps we're feeling it. I know my subconscious mind, I don't really dream a lot, but nodding off, going to sleep, I've had some stuff going on, or in meditation, I've been like, what's that over there? And they're like, pay attention. So there's shit brewing, I get it. Remember who we are. So far, the only major arcana on the table, 1 out of 6 cards. The Star, pretty powerful place to be. Keep your eyes heavenward, meaning keep your chin up, right? Can't follow the star if you're bitching and looking at your shoes, because what's crowning is an explosion. Good, I'm kind of psyched for that. I could use some of the excitement. I mean, I love doing this YouTube stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if I've been on my break long enough. I think maybe another week or so, we'll say. Like we have a choice, we'll see. Let's look at the staff, because these 6 together are the microcosm, sort of like the small world, after all. This one up this side will be the macrocosm, more of the universal stuff, right? The mystical, bigger picture. Like position number 7, the lesson. What are the gods trying to teach us here? The Capricorn card, now again, could be a person. I don't immediately jump to court cards always being people, particularly in a position like number 7 when it's Capricorn, which the lesson of Capricorn is slow and steady wins the race. Have your boundaries in place. Oh, which also rhymes. That's how I know the gods are playing with me. Yeah. There's something that we got to learn from this. Well, how else do our lessons really reach us spiritually? But through our relationships. Yes, you could say your health, but even that's your relationship to your body, or your job. Well, that's your relationship with money and resources. So it's all about relationships, right? Respiratory problems, your relationship with air, right? So it's all about relationships. But if we're looking in context of the universal learning template, what all of this is trying to teach you about yourself, about love, to become love, is that this is a slow and steady Saturnian process. Now, this is Capricorn, cardinal earth, creative earth, like the mountain. Nobody runs up a mountain, right? You have to be careful. Step by step, sure, you backslide, but you keep climbing. That what you want may very well be at the top, but may not be. Are you going to take the journey anyway? Remember, people climb mountains not because, there's a Starbucks at the top, that I know of, right? But because no one's ever done it before, or at least I've never done it before. So is there something in your soul attracting you, calling you forward on the path of true love through relationships in some way, shape, or form, though I gotta say, feeling the Romantic vibe here, that could be my own projection. Again, this is a quantum field. It could play out any way that it wants. We're definitely looking at something grounded, stable, and let us not forget the planet Saturn, which rules Capricorn, has a ring around it. Boundaries. Start looking at your boundaries now, because you're from this place of the star. You could look down and say, okay, this time around, considering that we're coming from this really, really lovely place, right? Perhaps completed something in a really, really good way, leaving us feeling a little elevated or elated, or maybe just at peace and at one with the universe. That can be very Ten of Cups. To say, okay, my boundary this time going through is, no sex till the third date. And tell them up front, no sex for the third date, and we got to go out to dinner at least once, because I got to see how you eat. It's not a Virgo thing to say, it totally is. You get that? Capricorn, slow and steady wins the race. You want something long-term. If you want something long-term, this looks like one of those lessons you go through to learn how to make long-term. Learn to make long-term. It sounds like something Scruff the crime dog would say. Oh my God, did I just throw myself backwards? Been time traveling a lot today. It is full moon. Tomorrow, 2:33 a.m. From the outside looking in, how do you appear to other people? Meaning that sometimes this card shows us how we are in a situation that we have no idea, although maybe we do. Other times it's how people see us that have nothing to do with us whatsoever. Just because somebody projects something onto you doesn't mean you have to accept the projection, all right? It's absolutely fine to say, I may be off, but I don't resonate with that at all. Are you sure you're projecting? You're not projecting, which is always such a fun conversation to have, said nobody ever, right? So this 8th position, let's see what's going on there. How you appear, I should say, appear in all of this. All right, the card is called jealousy, but it's the 7 of Cups. So let's be clear here. Someone might be jealous of you, me, us in this way, because it's how they see us. Do they see us as jealous? The tricky thing about the 7 of Cups, and that's why I love this deck. I love Fiona Morgan, but why she chose of all the emotions to put the word jealousy on the card, it skews it a little for me, because 7 of Cups in the Rider-Waite are those cups in the sky, right? Like visualized with clouds around them. And it's like, I could go for the dragon, I could go for the jewels, I could go for the beauty, I could go for, or what's that mystery one in the center, right? The one that's veiled. We know it's got arms, but what is that? I want to see what's under there. The things that attract and draw us, that maybe we are that object to somebody. We are those castles that, oh, if only it does happen. Otherwise, we have to go with this very literal. Either saying that we appear jealous in the situation, which I don't think I've felt full-on jealousy in a really long time. Envy is the deadly sin of the third eye, and it's of a different intensity than jealousy. I certainly wouldn't make it a 7 of Cups deal. Can we say emotional upset? Or that there, because with that 7 of Cups, this is also a card of addiction, right? So there could be a lot of confusion that maybe we're throwing off a whole bunch of different vibes, right? And it would not shock me if, because you know how they say the Hermit is the Virgo card? Sometimes we're really, really good on our own, and that can make people a little uncomfortable and jealous in the same way. Like, people are like, oh, I'm so sorry you haven't met anybody yet. I'm like, meet them. I have no problem meeting them. It's just, if they're not the divine plan for me, if it's not, in other words, if there's no Zazazoo. Comment below if you get what the Zazazoo is. I brought that up at a party a couple of weeks ago, and people were like, whoa, whoa, I hadn't heard that one in a while, the Zazazoo. You know what I mean. It's this, it's that is it that juice? You know, we might be somebody's object of affection, but that they might be a little jealous. Otherwise, they're seeing us as jealous, emotional, but that does not click with everything else that's going on here, particularly if we're getting the lesson of being slow and steady wins the race. Perhaps people can be projecting some shit onto us. It's very, very possible that we're not dancing to someone else's tune, because when the fuck do we ever? Let's see. The 9th position is destiny. Now, I explain this in much more depth in the clarification video for the Celtic Cross. This is not going to tell you what your destiny is on the path of true love for a month. It shows you where you are in the hero's journey of destiny on the path of true love, that you take your fate and you alchemize it into destiny. So this is showing you what you can go for, like where you are at in terms of manifesting, or in this case, what would help you. Now, you're lucky I used this deck. Here we've got 3 of Blades. I know. No heart being pierced by swords, like in the 3 of Swords in pretty much every other deck on planet Earth, with some exceptions, right? This is about focus. This is about aligning your minds. And actually, we have a maiden, a mother, and a crone there. So it is even that like intuitive focus. There are blades sort of hanging over their heads, but focusing on a central point, a pyramid, a 3 in the background, as well as a sphinx. So there is a question, there is a mystery. The hero's journey is that. It is a mystical, meaning steeped in mystery type of journey. You bring divine love into it, then it's a divine, mystical love journey. So focus. Some aspect of focus. And let's leave this one because there's too much, because we could all be focusing on different things. We'll get an angel card on top of that for destiny. That's good. I like a real simple one in that position, because destiny, you can lose yourself thinking and contemplating about it. So to have some real clarity on that is helpful. Last card down. Now, the outcome and number 6. 10 and 6 are mutable, changeable. I always like to throw that in there, unless it's something that's truly written in fate, written into the divine plan that cannot be escaped. Usually the point of a reading is to let you know something's coming so that you can either lean into it or steer away, right? So last card down. Let's have a look-see-dook-see. This makes sense. Appraisal, right? Good old 7 of Pentacles. The numeration's a little bit different from deck to deck, obviously. But we know this one. It's staring at the sunflowers, right? It's like, do I want to do these again? Right? It's like she planted these earlier in the spring, and now they've come up, and she's like, well, they're pentacly, just like it was on the package. Yeah, maybe I'll put half of them to seed, sell the other half, right? You know, I'll plant some and I'll sell some, and, you know, I don't know. Make some big earrings, or maybe a hat. Oh my God. A pterodactyl? Approach pterodactyl airplane. So appraisal, assigning value. You have something appraised, a house, a car, a ring. Yeah, you want to know what it's made of, but you want to know what's it worth. So it feels like, I don't know all in this month, but the outcome is something's going to manifest enough to the point where we step back and go, With a slow and steady wins the race lesson? Good. Let's stop. Let's take breaks. Let's reassess, not overanalyze, not judge, but check in with the body. How is this feeling? How am I feeling? Do I feel safe? If I don't feel safe, is that me, or is this my intuition? You know, assigning is it worth it? Everybody's worth it. Everybody's a divine being in form. It's just the majority of the planet has forgotten that, right? Themselves included. So it's about saying, what is this worth? How am I doing? Don't ask the divine how you're doing. Ask them what do you need. But for yourself to assess, is this healthy, right? What is your appraisal of the situation? Cool. Oh my God, how cool. I'm glad I'm a Virgo. I'm always glad I'm a Virgo. But I would want this read. There's nothing here that's like a shit show so far. I mean, yeah, we've got Pele the volcano, the 5s people try and avoid, but the 5 of Flames in this deck, Pele, in terms of sexuality, kundalini, attraction, desire, fire, perhaps it's something like an arrow that's been drawn back on the bow for a very long time, and now finally a flaming arrow that's finally set loose. So let's ask the angels what they say about all this, that larger celestial perspective. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, for our sakes, make it 2. Still point. My angels, please. Top 10 cards, Celtic Cross. For this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Path of True Love reading for February 2020. Please, where are we on the Path of True Love? What's going on for us Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs? What's going on for us on the Path of True Love? Please show me the Path of True Love for the Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, February 2020. My angels, please. Maiden, Mother crown. Clean cuts too. Don't you love a clean cut? I love a clean cut. The first cut won't hurt at all. The second only makes you wonder. I was raised in the 80s. Ready? We are going to start with the star, right? Representing us, representing the significator, the Virgo in this Path of True Love read. So we've got the star with all of that spiritual energy. The angels say, ooh, divine timing. Now, as I've been saying, every time this card comes up pretty much, with divine timing, you either love it or hate it, depending on whether you're getting what you want or not, right? So when it drops in your lap, oh, it's divine timing and it's what you wanted. Praise the gods, hallelujah. But if it's like, not just yet, other pieces of the quantum must come into alignment, you're like, all right, whatevs, right? But we're in alignment. And maybe that took some time. Usually does, that fourth dimensional psychological heart, throat, third eye, and crown, because really that is the fourth dimension of time. That stuff takes time. The lower three chakras are the third dimension, the eighth chakra the fifth. So we're trying to, true love is up here. These relationships, it's like they're teaching us how to not just anchor the vibration, but how to heal ourselves, where it's coming through our conduct, what we say, what we do, how we choose, what we decide, all from a place of true love, unconditional love, oneness, higher power love, whatever you want to call it. So that divine timing aspect with that particular major arcana card is pretty cool. And as I'm scanning around, we've only got the one major arcana card, and it is a doozy. Very, very glad that we have at least one, and the one that we have is the star. Looking at where we are, right, the present moment, what crosses us on the path of true love, Six of Cups, compassion with celebration. So, you know, look for the hanging out with people, right? Look for the social situation, the parties. I mean, I know it's February. I know it's Valentine's Day. Ugh, I would rather have my eyelids ripped off than go to a Valentine's Day party. Ugh, all that red everywhere. I don't mind red, but I'm a black, purple, and green kind of guy. But you can get that celebration, really coming together with others, and a celebration of compassion can be a hangout with friends, right? But usually celebrations come, like the full moon depicted at the top of this card, at some kind of fruition, some kind of rite of passage, something that has built to a peak, and then we celebrate it, right? So keep an eye out for that. I mean, if it's really about you being compassionate with yourself and celebrating yourself in your life, I mean, I've had moments of compassion in these past few months just through prayer and breath work and meditation that brought tears to my eyes. Not just compassion for what I see on TV with people suffering, but compassion for my own inner child's pain and what we've been through, right? So there's a lot of water in this spread. Well, at least 3 cards of it, but they're pretty heavy duty 3 cards. I mean, we've got the 10, the 6, and the 2. But definitely with that card of celebration, it's an equal, balanced, emotional celebration. So it feels like it's not just about one person or one thing, but maybe a period or a phase of balancing celebration, particularly if you've been through devastation. There's nothing like celebration to pick yourself up after devastation, because something new has arrived from what has been taken away. That's how it works. That's the cycle of nature. I didn't make it that way. Just how it is. I signed up with that already built in. 2 of Cups in the soul, in the core position, down here somewhere. I'm stoked. Let's see. What do the angels say? Well, they're saying meditation, which at first I'm like, thanks. I mean, I can meditate all day long. I've been doing it most of my life, right? Oh, yes, connect with the attraction. Oh, great. Another soulmate meditation. This is really saying contemplate, connect with, turn inward, feel that. So okay, let's say you're like, no, I'm single right now, but then something bubbles up, an attraction, maybe a memory of the past where you feel not so much triggered, but something goes, right? Like, second chakra, having young Frankenstein flashback. Talk to it, contemplate it, let it have its voice. You don't have to act on it. Oh, please, that's how you get in trouble. Just act on it without listening to it, right? Listening to it, it's like listening to a child that wants to burn the house down. It's like, oh, I'll listen to you, but you're not allowed to do that, right? Give those emotions a voice. Now, they may be abstract. They might not have a point to them. They may not make a rational sense because they're more in the intuitive field, the perceptual body down in the lower three chakras. So pay attention to that, meditate upon it, and if the word meditation is too Eastern for you, try the word contemplate, sit with, listen to, almost like inner child work, but down in the belly, right? Whatever that movement is. Because it sort of makes sense. We're coming from this place. What's behind us is the Ten of Cups, this ecstasy. So this could still be like an echo of that. We certainly have the good time continuing with celebration here in the present moment now that I connect the Ten of Cups to the Six of Cups in the second position. So there's something, perhaps there's even like a desire for more, a desire for now a more specific one-on-one Two of Cups dealio that's being contemplated, meditated in the soul position here, keeping in mind that these things are contracted before we even engage, right? Before we even incarnate. So let's see what this Ten of Cups then. What do the angels have to say about that? Interesting. Emerging. Now, the thing about emerging in the past is it says that this has not emerged just yet. But there must have been a whiff of it. There must have been a moment when we experienced it in some way, shape, or form, maybe in a fleeting attraction that might be for that person in particular, might be for just the situation of what they represent, right? The truth is we're all going to get the things that we want if we play the game and participate. Be as loving as we can and learning what that means for each of us individually, a highly individualized curriculum. But it never manifests the way that we want to or how we expect it to or in the timing that we want. That's the divine surrender part. That's the trust of the divine. That's why you walk the path to say, okay, then bring on whatever it is that I need to experience, learn, heal, and grow through so that I can be the soulmate, that I can be true love, so that no matter who comes or who goes, I get to be loving. There is a book called Disappearance of the Universe. It's about the Course in Miracles. Long story short, I'm just going right to the thing. The question I believe they pose in there, and this might even be in the Course in Miracles itself, but this is where I remember the conversational part of it. So if someone is loving to you, what's the natural response? Well, to be loving back. But the Course would say, if someone is not loving to you, what is your response? And the response is to be loving anyway, because what is not love is a call for love, right? So it feels like that's going on here. Yes, there is definitely this thing emerging within us, but as we're getting ready for now this Pele card to explode, what was in meditation, we are definitely learning how to become more, not just more loving, to become love. And again, I always go back to this because it's so classic. When they asked Michelangelo, the artist, not the Ninja Turtle, always feel like I have to clarify that. When they asked Michelangelo how he sculpted the David, which I don't know if you can see it, but it's right over there on my shelf. I don't think you can. Can I reach it? This is one of my statues for Apollo. When they asked him, here he is. You're familiar with them. Ooh, Nike. I hope I don't get censured. Hold that for me, Apollo. When they asked Michelangelo how he made the David, he said, I didn't. God did. I just chipped away the excess marble. That's what the path of true love is. Hammer and chisel, right? Just chipping away anything that is not love within you, which ultimately is not real, blah, 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 blah. So really lovely so far, particularly if this Ace, this Ten of Pentacles, which, like I said when it first hit the table, I was like, yeah, like I've been doing this breath work and I've been feeling these moments of ecstasy. This might be something a little bit more prolonged, though not fully manifested yet, though we'll see. Really with that Seven of Pentacles at the end, maybe it does. But remember, all that glistens is not gold, right? Glitters, glistens. Because the fifth position here, we've got Pele, the volcano. This is what's coming. This is the immediate future. Come on, angels. Ooh, dreams. Now, yeah, nocturnal emission. Oh, that's what it means there. You blew your wad while you were sleeping. No, probably not. Probably, I mean, you're going to dream of a volcano. You're going to dream of this uprising of Kundalini energy, maybe. But more, it's like, what's going on in the subconscious comes up, right? Do you get that? Like from the subconscious, the realm of dreams. Also, and I love this definition of the word dreams better, something that you've been dreaming of. What is it? A wish is a dream your heart makes, or a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. I never got that much into Disney. I know verboten, but get over it. I'm a Terry Pratchett guy. Sort of the anti-Disney in a way. Really from all this meditation, right? Meditation, perhaps you've been doing the internal work for attraction and love and getting yourself into balance. Well, it feels like with the volcano, although there is a warning with this they just gave me, that yes, your dreams are starting to manifest in fire, right? The desire is getting higher, but also make sure that you are dealing with reality. Remember, we are earth signs, at least Virgo, you know, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. We have to look at it as like, okay, is this real, or is this real life, or is this fantasy, right? We need to kind of be aware of that because it is crowning. Hence, I think that card of appraisal, and in every relationship, particularly modern day ones, we're always going to question, is this too good to be true? Is this my dream come true, or is this just more snake oil? Well, it looks like in the 6th position of the card of Libra, there's definitely a relationship that manifests itself. Whether it's with a Libra or not is a moot point as far as this goes, because on a path of true love, remember, we are the star of this show, at least for this reading, and there is a divine timing thing. So don't be surprised if everything that you've been waiting for a long time all clicks into place, and you find yourself face to face in some sort of partnership relationship deal. Scripted, right? An attraction there. A dream manifested, at least in terms of something you desired. It appears like it shows up. What do the angels have to say about that? Because it's supported by the divine, the angels, the gods, the masters. And this is a relationship then, a partnership of support, which does lean towards the contract, because soulmates are supportive, right? Symbiotic, satisfying, all the lovely S words, where twin flames are turbulent. They're just different contracts. We'll deal with those in the next few readings that I do in terms of series. We'll do the soulmate contracts and the twin flame contracts. You might want to go back and check yours for last month, particularly because it feels like the divine timing of this, that the gods, the angels, the masters, the higher selves are playing chess and are about to bump us into somebody. Let's hope it's a good bump. Lovely microcosm here. We've got the 10 of Cups with emerging, the 6 of Cups with celebration, the Mother of Blades Libra with support. That's a lovely flow. Definitely is connecting energetically there with that divine timing thing with us at the star, with the meditation in the with the 2 of Cups, really kind of feeling it. I don't know, am I ready? Contemplating it, meditating upon it, and that explosion of dreams, that volcano, that burst of fire. Very interesting. Let's look macro. Slow and steady wins the race. Capricorn, the Capricorn card, it's hard to say, has Zoe, the buffalo woman, right? Just to feel the strength of that, the earth sign of that, from our Capricorn brothers and sisters, that stability, that solidity, that support. Yeah? What do the angels have to say about that? Honey, this is manifestation. This is about, okay, you slow and steady won the race on this one, but guess what? The top of the mountain is the foothill of the next, right? Now it feels like you met somebody. There's a possibility for something long-term here. Now what you gonna do? That's why people say, oh, I really wish you would meet someone. I'm like, meet someone? I'm on Grindr, honey. I have no problem meeting them. It's just I'm not turning my stomach when they make some ridiculous foray as a hello. No, dignity. Thank you very much. If you don't approach me with dignity, don't bother, my gods will strike you down. No, they won't. They'll just teach you a lesson, which may strike you down. So again, this manifestation, it's not an overnight thing. It took us a while to get ready. Whatever it is that that's emerging within us, this bliss, this ecstasy, we probably had to go through a lot of loss, separation, transformation, healing from wounds of abuse and wounds of neglect and wounds of codependency. But now the lesson begins on a whole new level because something is manifesting here. Manifestation. There's a relationship coming. Now look, if it's not the romantic sexual, I know that's what a lot of people want. Maybe this is a relationship that prepares us for that. But in a way, all relationships prepare us for all other relationships because it's all about love. And it's all about becoming love and becoming more loving by chipping away the excess marble. Isn't that right, David? Yeah. Stick them in my mouth, but I don't. I won't. Chalky. From the outside looking in, remember, like this one gives me a little like, jealousy. It might be now that we've actually got some stuff manifesting here, that the jealousy, it might be that people are a little jealous of what's going on. Because honestly, let's talk jealousy for a moment. We're going to Matt Kahn this for a moment. Matt Kahn said something that really, really touched my inner child because jealousy, it's a weird thing the closer you get to unity consciousness because you're one with everything. That's what Buddha said when he went to Pizza Hut. He said, make me one with everything. It's not my joke. I don't take credit for it, but I can't pass it up. It's the inner child that gets, the child of the heart, the wounded child, the angry child, the jealous child is the one that goes, well, when's it my turn? So it feels like this is our turn, or at least a step in the direction towards our turn. So it really wouldn't surprise me if the jealousy is coming at us, right? Not so much we're being seen as being jealous. I'm not feeling this here. Not with that star card and divine timing. If that is, do keep keep an eye on that child, because the jealous voice of the child needs more love, not less. But it doesn't need to run the show, and it certainly doesn't need to post on Facebook and social media, right? So tend to that emotional child. And what does the angel say about that? Trust. So can we trust that whatever emotions come, because I think on our ends of it, no matter what anybody projects onto us, remember, if someone sees you jealous doesn't mean you are. We don't have to accept other people's projections, but we should take a look and see. Maybe there's something we're not seeing, but not to beat ourselves up to look for it. But that there's also something here about trust, right? That there's something trustworthy about us, and that if we can trust the emotions that we are going through, we will prove to be trustworthy. We may be very emotional going through this stuff. There's a lot of it's predominance of water, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 cups cards. Yeah. Everything else here, there's only one major arcana card, 1 earth card, 2 earth card, 1 fire, and 2 air, and one of them is a court card. So we are looking at a lot of emotion here. So maybe there's some emotional upset that we might be throwing up. Confusion. See, that's more the 7 of Cups for me. That confusion. That, well, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? But that then we're also radiating this thing of trust. It's like, well, we're going to trust one way or another that this is part of the divine plan, because isn't that what the grace of hope is about? Hope and trust. So close. Not quite the same thing. Hope is the golden thread through the labyrinth. Faith is the torch. Faith, trust is sort of a different animal in there. The torch that lights a few feet ahead. Interesting card, that 8th position. But now let's look at the 9. I've been waiting for this one, right? 3 of Blades. Not the heartbreak card. Not for me, not this deck. Otherwise that would be cups anyway, not swords, but to each their own. What do the angels say about this card of focus, right? Come here, baby. So focus, and the angels say, answered prayer. Focus on the answered prayer. And that might be as simple as, okay, to manifest my destiny, where I am on the path of true love, the hero's journey, all of that. Where's the answered prayer? It's sort of saying your prayer has been answered. Now, does that mean it will be answered once this lesson of manifestation has begun? The lesson of manifestation has already begun. Will the prayer be answered once this Libra dynamic, supported by spirit relationship? Then will the prayer be answered? The prayer has already been answered. What if that's this which is emerging? The ecstasy in our past. It started emerging before all of this happened, maybe indeed through spiritual practice, hence the triggering of what? Divine timing in this. Slow and steady wins the race is the lesson of manifestation here. But an answered prayer. And if you want to get the answered prayer card, you want it in the destiny position, because then it's a prayer about, it's an answered prayer about you becoming your highest potential. Which, by the way, highest potential is another phrase associated with the 10th house, Capricorn. Nobody develops their highest potential in 10 seconds. Lots of training, lots of years, sometimes lots of lifetimes. So this one's worth going slowly with, because it's probably been building over lifetimes, let alone years. And what do we end with? We end with the Seven of Pentacles. Looking at it, appraising it. Is this worth it? Is it worth it? Do I want to? Do I want to keep going? I'm at a 7. 3 more will get me to a 10. Do I want to back off now? What do I want to do? I must assign value in some way, shape, or form wisely and well. What did the angels say? Surrender and release. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean walk away, but that does mean I am going to surrender to this process, or I am going to release this process. I am going to go into this process of, where is it? Is the word on here? It's at the bottom. Appraisal. I'm going to go in. I'm going to surrender to this process of appraisal. I am going to allow all of the different voices. The one that wants 100% in, the one that wants 100% out. The one that's like 50-50, but I don't know. Remember, there's, I love this, FOMO, millennials and their words. Fear of missing out, right? Is that part of the appraisal equation for Virgos that can drive us nuts? Well, I'm the youngest of 4, so that was always a thing with me until I got what the quantum is. I'm like, oh, relax, yours will always come to you, and it always does. So this surrender and release does not mean get rid of it, let it go. It means, okay, okay, let's go through this. Let's appraise this. Let's feel this out. But remember, it's an earth card, so it can be very much, how does this feel in my body? Do I feel safe? Do I feel abused? Do I feel neglected? Do I feel supported? Do I feel healthy about this, not just in mind and heart, but in body as well? Is this a healthy, balanced, boundaried thing? Because with slow and steady wins the race. Highest potential here, that it would make sense we would eventually come to a place of appraisal. Okay, so nothing written in stone here just yet saying this is the one you're going to marry. But we're going to have a look-see-duck-see. 2 more cards. We are going to ask the higher selves of all involved, mine included, for a Whisper of Love Oracle card, which are very, very helpful. Yes, I could pull another 10, but we'd be here another, forever. So we're just going to go for one of these. Cool, cool. The voices of the higher selves, please breathe. Still point. The higher selves of all involved. There you are. Mine, I feel you, please. 1 card in clarity for the Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for February 2020. Valentine's month, good gods help us all. Higher selves, please. For all involved, 1 card in clarity for the Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for February 2020. Speak the language of love. Oh, speak it. Speak it. Sorry, I just had a little Jamie Lee Curtis fish called Wanda moment. Speak it. That's my favorite scene in that movie. Speak the language of love, darling. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. Oh, baby. I'm verbal. To say the least. I say the most. Wow, okay, the higher self, speak the language of love, which isn't just like, my darling, I love you so much, I want to rip my eyebrows out and stuff them up my nose. No, not like that. It also means speaking kindness, speaking compassion. Remember, there's a celebration of compassion where we are right now. To have more of the heart-to-heart talks here, that's what I feel like is bubbling to the surface. Emotional intimacy here. Speak the language of love. When someone's going through loss or has been abused or neglected, just say to them, well, you know, not loving. No, you sound like a duck. You walk like a duck and it sounds like a duck. It's probably you're being an asshole, right? Just say, I'm so fucking sorry. Don't let the spiritual ego take over, right? Well, you know, your chakras and me attract. No. Speak the language of love. It's okay. I am so sorry you're in pain. You can feel this way around me. You don't have to hide that. I understand. I know what that feels like. Be loving. Brilliant guidance. I love that oracle deck. I love that oracle deck. I think I love him. Young Frankenstein. Oh, you men are all alike. 8 or 9 quick ones and you're off with the boys to boast and brag. You keep your mouth shut, mister. I was raised on Mel Brooks. Are you shocked? Don't be. Let's ask the Ascended Masters through the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn for a healing mantra, because I think with all of this, it couldn't hurt, right? For us Virgos, trying to serve and heal everybody else and all of humanity. How about one for us in our relationships for a change? Breathe. Oh, from the ridiculous to the sublime. Still point. Come on, guys, get it together. My Ascended Masters, please, one card in love, in healing, in compassion for this Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, on the path of true love, February 2020, please, my darlings, my beloveds, my Ascended Masters of true love, because you're a special division. Please, what is the healing mantra for this Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for February 2020, please? One card in clarity. The healing mantra for us, the best one ever that we could ever have, ever. Oh, cross fingers. Asking for angelic support. Ooh. This is a good one. Asking for angelic support. That's the name of the mantra. I'll look that up in the book. The mantra itself is, my angels respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel. You mean be vulnerable and explain and express how we feel behind the only legs that cross in the zodiac? Yeah. But at least to the angels, right? My angels respond. My angels respond, right? Invisible forces. Here's the support card with the gods, the angels, the higher powers, the pantheons. Respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel. So do speak the language of love, but speak the language of love in prayer. Be honest with the angels about what's going on for you. Asking angels for help. Asking for angelic support. My angels respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel. When asking for angelic support, you are requesting solutions from a higher realm of consciousness. Makes sense? Such a realm of consciousness works in accordance with free will to help you face your experiences instead of helping you avoid them, right? So you can't ask an angel, please take the pain away. They're like, oh, honey, we can't. That's written in, but we love you. Ask again. Can you help me through this? Yes, darling, try this. Happens. But you have to be open. I'm terrified of feeling this, right? Or I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love. You know, little Eddie Money moment. But I don't know. I'm confused. Oh, right. So you're not there. They're not there to pull you out of the confusion. They're there to walk you through it to find clarity. Rather than believe the cause of your feelings must be changed or eliminated, it is essential to ask your angels for better ways of viewing the feelings that keep getting triggered, particularly if they keep getting triggered. Because each trigger represents a healing, you are more likely to feel the presence of your angels. Sorry, did I skip a line there? The feelings keep getting triggered. Because each trigger represents a healing, you are more likely to feel the presence of your angels when asking for their help to face your most difficult emotions. There's a lot of emotions going on here for sure. That would make sense. You just have to be honest about it. In order to access angelic assistance, it is important to be with your feelings so your angels know where support is needed the most. And there's that word support. There's that word support there, right? So asking your angels for help. This mantra is ideal for unraveling the spiritual ego. Like I said, watch out for that spiritual ego. Giving up patterns of avoidance and being a better receiver. We are the servants of the zodiac. Sometimes we don't receive so gracefully. So my angels respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel. My angel, I don't know what to do. I'm feeling this. This is intense. I may be falling in love. I don't know what this is. I'm confused. I'm frustrated. I'm terrified. I feel lonely. Help me, help me, help me. And they're going to say, all right, we're going to walk you through this, baby. Breathe, right? The only way out is through. But you must be open and authentic, at least to the angels about it, not to mention slow and steady wins the race. The vulnerability, there is no intimacy without vulnerability, my darlings. But that, of course, in terms of this appraisal at the end may be indicated. Let's give you the overview with a lovely, lovely magic clap. Magic clap! We've got the cover card down here for us Virgos with the star with divine timing, which in a way speaks for itself. There is a waxing moon in this card of the star, saying that something has begun and will continue to grow over time, but a divine timing. Not something we can speed up or slow down any more than we could the cycles of the moon. The situation we're in, however, the place that we're in, the environment, is the Six of Cups with celebration, which just feels lovely and balanced and emotionally, perhaps even at rest, peaceful, just like this woman reclining on the sand getting the healing work from her beloved soul sisters. At the core, we've got this whirlpool, Two of Cups, just classically an attraction card, an emotional pull, very magnetic, being drawn together as slowly as possible, but on an irrevocable path towards each other, two things meeting. With the angels talking about meditation there, to really allow yourself to contemplate that, to feel it, and maybe that's one of those feelings you are open and authentic about with your angels. At least now in meditation, that would make sense considering it's right next to that mantra card, that third position. We're coming from the fourth position, Ten of Cups emerging. There might have been a glimpse. We might have been taken to the top of the emotional mountain for a split second to be shown that it is there. Maybe far in our past, like maybe not something so very recent, but it is now getting ready to emerge. So these emotions emerging, this Ten of Cups, this joy, this bliss, this ecstasy, which does blend really well into the Six of Cups of the present moment, right, in that second position. Looking up at what's crowning, we've got Pele the volcano with dreams, that it might be that our dreams, our deepest desires, our heart's desires are sort of coming to mind, blasting up through us. But then again, those desires may very well be energetically connected to the Kundalini system, the Kundalini energy, the chakra spiral, all that kind of stuff, but is sexual creative energy. That's why I am getting this Two of Cups whirlpool thing a little bit more like the sexual emotional attraction, romantic attraction, than just like two people with an emotional link. That's usually the Three of Cups in this deck bonding. Moving from the fifth, that crowning card of the volcano with dreams, a volcanic dream, a dream of volcanoes, however you want to dice that baby, into the Libra card, the relationship card, the partnership and marriage card, the scales, one thing in relationship to another. Skadi, the north wind, with the support of the angels, the gods, the masters, the higher selves, our spirit teams, the contract, the whole spiritual 9 yards seems to be in on this one, bringing together at least the next partnership, relationship, or who knows what form it is going to take. But it does feel like, as we jump down now to the lesson, the seventh position, we're looking at the manifestation of a Capricorn energy. 10th house, long-term, highest potential. Reputations are made over decades, destroyed in an instant, right? So this is the Capricorn part of it taking a long time, a divine timing, going back to that card of the star. And from the outside looking in, we've got this Seven of Cups, this almost confusing emotional card, but with that underlying vibe of trust. That makes sense now with the mantra card of asking the angels for support, that though we might very well be very confused, right? Like, it seems like all my dreams are coming true, and every time this has happened before, I ended up kicking me in the root chakra repeatedly. Lied to, because I will speak for myself, that has happened to me a number of times, not just romantically, but with work situations. So to have that uncertainty, yet perhaps even that jealousy, yes, I really want it, but I don't know if I can trust it, but with that underlying trust, going to the angels and saying, look, I don't know how to feel about this, but this is how I feel about it 1 second, this is how I feel about it later, and the angels, the higher powers, if you will, walking you through that. That's how you go through that sort of emotional confusion with trust. You go through it. And of course, out of that confusion, it would make sense that we move into where we are in destiny. The Three of Blades, the card of focus. There's a mystery here, but there's an answered prayer as well. So for us to focus on, maybe the focus is, all right, my angels, I don't know why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, but show me the answered prayer. Show me how this is exactly the best thing that can be happening to me right now. Show me how exactly this is the best day ever for me, because I may not see it. I might be a little too shook. That's a really good word for that Seven of Cups in this deck. Shook, right? Whether it's jealousy or confusion or what have you, that Seven of Cups, you're just emotionally, you're shook. You don't know what's going on. Oh, I like that. It's the shook card now, which brings us to the 10th position here. Our outcome now, the 6 and the 10. We've got Scotty and support in the 6, appraisal, which is the 7 of Pentacles with surrender and release in the 10. These can be changed, but they feel really good. That it's not surrendering, that's it, I'm out of this relationship, I release it, I let it go. It feels more like, okay, now it's time, or I got to this place where I really need to appraise. Am I ready for this? Can I appraise where am I in my growth? I'm only at a 7. I don't know that I'm ready for something great, big, huge right now, though I may have wanted this all along. But remember, the lesson here is slow and steady wins the race. So even if the appraisal is, I need to surrender this temporarily, or I need to step back so that I can appraise it, to kind of go along with this natural, slow growth, slow and steady wins the race, then this is going to manifest in a healthy way, regardless of whether we stay together, regardless of what happens in this. At least I can guarantee myself that if I surrender to the appraisal every now and again as needed, that I will manifest this in a healthy way for my higher good and for the well-being of all. And what is the words, the whisper of love from the higher self? Speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. And then by all means, if there is jealousy in your field, talk to the angry child. If there's confusion, talk to the confused child of your heart. Think of your heart chakra, your emotional body, as the inner child. It will open up that dialogue, and you can even invite your angels into that. Angels, my child feels this. I don't know what to do about it. Can you please help me, right? You're being open and authentic, as is the mantra, asking for angelic support. My angels respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel. How about you talk about how you feel to those angels, asking them for help on the path of true love, February 2020. What a kick-ass read. I mean, this is really, really good. Is it open-ended? Yeah, it ends essentially with appraisal. But at least that puts the ball back in our court, because we're good at appraising. We are good. We're Virgos. We'll be like, well, okay, how's it going physically? How's it going sexually? How's it going emotionally? We'll have our pie charts, our bar graphs, right? Our calculations, at least emotional, physical ones. But certainly worth doing the work. You know why? We're worth doing the work for. Right? So there may be some work involved, relationships are, but they're worth it for our own healing and growth. Let me give you the blessing, because I'm in this one too. Nice deep breath. I love ending with blessings. Tell your friends. May the Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love for February 2020 and beyond, to be in the divine timing, to celebrate with compassion, to meditate upon the attractions in life, our desires and our dreams rising as this ecstasy begins to emerge from us, moving into whatever partnerships are necessary that are supported by the divine to help us grow and become the best that we can be. That slow and steady may win win the race in the manifestation of this one. Though we may be unsure, but we can trust there is a process in play, that there is an answered prayer when we focus upon where we are. If we focus upon what the answer to the prayer is, we will feel it. And of course, the outcome, we will surrender and release as into the appraisal as we speak the language of love. And may the angels respond when we are open and authentic about how we feel on this path of true love in this new relationship as it manifests before, during, and after for the well-being of all. Oh, please, my angels, gods, masters, and higher selves of all involved, may it be so. May we all be blessed for the well-being of all. On the path of true love, February 2020. So mote it be. And so it is. I kind of gave it all on that one. Well, this is probably my last reading for the evening anyway. So I thank you so much for watching my Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the rest of February. Valentine's Day, good luck on that one. We are all going to need it. But for now, wishing you as ever, hail, farewell, and blessed be.